Number 8. Jason Sanderling. In September of 2022, a young man bearing a striking resemblance to pop icon Harry Styles was arrested for robbery and assault in New York. On January the 21st, Jason Sanderling broke down the door of an apartment in Tyrone and ordered 3 people to get on the floor while holding them at gunpoint with an assault rifle. The 21-year-old struck a woman in the head with the firearm and groped her breasts after she tried to resist being zip-tied. He made off from the apartment with a stash of marijuana and a few $100s in cash. Sanderling subsequently posted a Snapchat video of the stolen drugs, which he subsequently also tried to sell. The man was identified by his long-time girlfriend, with whom he'd allegedly carried out an earlier robbery in Altoona. Law enforcement took him into custody on multiple charges that included robbery, criminal trespass, indecent assault, and aggravated assault. His mugshot attracted attention online due to his resemblance to Styles, with the most noticeable difference being that Sanderling had the number 33 tattooed on the side of his forehead. Another distinction was that in person the robber was roughly 6 inches shorter than the former One Direction singer. Number 7. Todd Barrick. The photo of a man wanted for violating his parole went viral in the fall of 2019 due to his likeness to a character from a hit TV series. The Galesburg Police Department in Illinois shared the mugshot of 50-year-old Todd Barrick, and online users immediately noticed a resemblance to Walter White, the protagonist, played by Bryan Cranston, of the critically acclaimed and massively popular series Breaking Bad. Their likeness extended beyond the bald head and goatee, as Barrick was wanted for methamphetamine possession while the character on the show, a chemistry teacher, began producing methamphetamine after being diagnosed with cancer. One commenter jokingly suggested that the police looked for Barrick in Albuquerque, where the action in this series unfolded. The mugshot attracted the attention of international press and was even featured on late-night comedy shows. Barrick remained at large for several months following the photo circulation, before he was eventually arrested in Des Moines, Iowa, in early December. Number 6. Abdullah Hussaini. In October of 2018, law enforcement in Blackpool, England, posted a photo to its Facebook of a suspected thief, captured by CCTV in a local supermarket. Before long, the photo of the man holding a beer carton while looking into the camera was shared millions of times and had amassed tens of thousands of comments due to the suspect's resemblance to Ross Geller, David Schwimmer's character on the sitcom Friends. Schwimmer himself brought further attention to the original post by uploading a spoof video to his Twitter, reenacting the photo. He scurried through a convenience store while holding a beer carton before looking straight into the camera. The actor explained that he couldn't have been responsible for theft since he was in New York, and then wished the police good luck in their investigation. In November, the lookalike was arrested and later named as 36-year-old Abdullah Hussaini. Burnley Crown Court was told that he'd swiped a wallet from a customer's jacket at a restaurant and then used the card found inside to make several fraudulent purchases before he was caught in the act of buying beer by CCTV at an Iceland store. Hussaini, originally from Slough, was described as nomadic and a habitual thief with a predisposition towards stealing alcohol. He had 32 previous convictions for 60 offenses since 2008, 27 of which were for theft and dishonesty. It took a jury less than 3 hours to convict him for the viral incident, and he was consequently jailed for 9 months. Number 5. Corey Webb. While walking to a local Goodwill to buy comics, on New Year's Eve 2016, a high-functioning autistic man from Milwaukee, Wisconsin, was ambushed by a robber. As reported by the unnamed victim, the suspect jumped out of a doorway, held a pistol to his head and demanded he hand over a pair of headphones. The robber also took $20 from the victim, threatening to kill him for it. When asked to describe his attacker, the man claimed he looked like Shaggy from the Scooby-Doo cartoon series. The police knew exactly to whom he was referring and identified the robber as Corey Webb. Local law enforcement had been called several times in the past by concerned residents and store owners who'd found Webb passed out due to his addiction to K2, a form of synthetic cannabis. He was subsequently arrested and charged with felony armed robbery The Shaggy lookalike was booked into Milwaukee County Jail on a $1,000 cash bond and faced up to 25 years behind bars. Number 4. Lawrence Sullivan. A Florida man emulating the Joker through his green hair and face tattoos was arrested in May of 2017 by law enforcement in Miami-Dade County, Florida. Police in Miami responded to reports of a man pointing a handgun at traffic in the 15200 block of Southwest 104th Street on May the 23rd. The Batman villain-inspired suspect, later identified as 29-year-old Lawrence Sullivan, had fled by the time that officers arrived at the scene. His facial artwork included the word Joker tattooed on his forehead, next to a Batman symbol with a knife through it, as well as permanent clown makeup and the signature scarred smile. Officers subsequently located him walking out the front gate of the Hammocks Place apartment complex. Upon being approached by them, Sullivan revealed that he had a firearm in his pocket. An officer reached inside and found a Smith & Wesson handgun loaded with 6 rounds. When asked why he didn't get a concealed carry permit, Sullivan, who described his occupation as being a tattoo model, claimed it was too expensive. He denied having waved the pistol at passing cars and claimed that he only had it for protection. Sullivan was charged with carrying a concealed firearm and booked at the Turner Guilford Night Correctional Center on a $5,000 bond. He had a number of past arrests, including one for marijuana possession in 2013. Sullivan's mugshot at the time was dramatically different from his most recent one, as it showed his face free of any tattoos. He was eventually bonded out of jail, where he claimed to have been treated like a celebrity due to his unusual appearance. Less than 18 months later, Sullivan was arrested once more in Pinellas County after a warrant had been put out for yet another concealed carry firearm offense. Number 3. Tara Hanlon. A British woman was arrested at Heathrow Airport on October 2nd of 2020 as she was trying to smuggle a large amount of cash out of England. Once news of Tara Hanlon's arrest began to spread, British media labeled her a Kim Kardashian lookalike. It was reported that the 30-year-old had gotten plastic surgery and other cosmetic procedures in order to bring her physical appearance closer to that of her idol. While the end result of her efforts to emulate the socialite was disputable, Hanlon's criminal activity was beyond a shadow of a doubt, as she was caught trying to smuggle over $2.7 million from London to Dubai. The cash had been vacuum-packed in 5 suitcases and covered in ground coffee to hide the smell from sniffer dogs. When initially asked about her extensive luggage by a customs official, Hanlon claimed she wasn't sure what to wear upon reaching her destination. The ensuing find was the largest individual cash seizure at the UK border that year, and the police determined that the money came from organized crime. During her initial interview, the media-dubbed lookalike claimed that it was her first trip, denied having been paid to smuggle the cash, and expressed the belief that her actions were legal, since the money would be declared in Dubai. However, subsequent analysis of her phone indicated that she'd made 3 previous visits in July and August as a courier and was paid over $3,000 for each of them. In a message to an unidentified source, she'd boasted 3 big ones. With this wage and the next, my debts go by. And in another, claimed that the criminal activity afforded her the perfect life. The total amount she'd smuggled, excluding the final failed effort, totaled close to $4 million. Several other people were arrested and charged as part of the same money laundering operation. Hanlon eventually pleaded guilty to multiple counts of removing criminal property, for which she was sentenced to 34 months in prison. Today's topic was requested by Jessica MG. If you have any other topics you'd like to learn about, subscribe and let us know in the comment section below. Number 2. Luminița Perejoc. In 2012, Luminița Perejoc, from the city of Tulcea, Romania, hired taxi driver Nicolae Stan to deliver some shopping bags to her apartment. Once the delivery was completed, 30-year-old Perejoc asked for the man's number so that she could elicit his services again. A few hours later, she asked him to bring several bottles of wine to her apartment. The woman, whom local and foreign media later dubbed an Angelina Jolie lookalike, grabbed Stan upon his arrival and dragged him into the apartment. She demanded that the married father of 3 have intercourse with her and pulled out a 4-inch knife when he refused. Stan twice performed as commanded, but Perejoc reportedly wanted more and stabbed the man repeatedly when he couldn't go through with it. He eventually managed to barricade himself in the bedroom and called the emergency services, who rescued him from the apartment. Padajok was arrested and during the ensuing trial maintained that she'd actually been the victim, a claim which was rejected by the court. She was jailed for 5 years, but the sentence was ultimately suspended for 4 years on appeal, after it was determined that her behavior had been influenced by medication she'd been taking at the time. Stan, however, argued that he'd been given a life sentence of being teased by his friends, whom he claimed didn't understand why he'd refused someone they deemed a very attractive woman. On that topic, the 35-year-old told a media outlet, "I think anyone would find it impossible to perform with a knife at their throat, even if they were with Miss Romania." Number 1. Fidel Gonzalez Gutierrez. In late March of 2017, an arrest in Florida drew attention on the internet due to the suspect's strong resemblance to Santa Claus. 58-year-old Fidel Gonzalez Gutierrez from Marathon had been wanted on 6 outstanding warrants related to the trafficking of cocaine. As reported by a spokesperson for the Monroe County Sheriff's Office, the Santa Claus look-alike had sold the illegal substance to an undercover officer multiple times between late February and early March. Gonzalez Gutierrez, whose occupation was listed as fisherman by local law enforcement, had carried out his dealings near a church, which resulted in further charges. He faced 6 counts of selling cocaine within 1,000 feet of a place of worship, in addition to 4 counts of using a two-way communication device to facilitate a felony. Once his mugshot began circulating online, a number of users quipped about the Florida man, suggesting he should put himself on the naughty list or that he'd been dreaming of a different kind of white Christmas. Thanks for watching. If you could trade lives with another person for a month, who would you choose and why? Let us know in the comments section below.